Ball's hit to the shortstop. Rojas throws it over to first base, and that's not going to be enough. That's an infield single.
Did you catch that viral TikTok of Caitlyn Clark? No, not her dropping dimes on the court. This time, she's dropping knowledge in the baseball commentator's booth. But while Clark's expanding her horizons, Sheryl Swoops just said something that's got everyone talking. You know, Caitlyn's been crushing it on the basketball court, right? Well, her teammate Lexie uploaded this TikTok that's blowing up. It shows Clark giving some seriously impressive baseball commentary. Who knew she had skills behind the mic too? The MLB saw it and they're loving it. They said 22,000 likes on this comment and we will get her in the booth. And guess what? Clark replied, "I'd be honored." That's insane. But here's where things get wild.
By Contreras. One time I think we're right now. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. And a little outside.
Oh, there you go.
A little outside. I like it though.
Just when everyone thought Caitlyn was hitting it out of the park, someone threw a curveball into the mix. Stick around to find out who said what and why it's got everyone talking. You won't believe what's coming next. So Clark's got game on the court and in the booth. But here's the real kicker. What if I told you this isn't news to some people in the WNBA? There's an old clip floating around that might just blow your mind about how long Clark's been on the radar. Let's talk about Caitlyn Clark's star power for a second. This girl's not just dominating on the court, she's making waves off it too. Remember that viral TikTok we mentioned earlier? Well, it's got people thinking about Clark's future, and it's not just about basketball anymore. Imagine this, Caitlyn Clark, WNBA superstar by day, sports commentator by night. Sounds crazy, right? But after seeing her skills in that baseball commentary booth, it's not so far-fetched. The girl's got a natural talent for breaking down the game, and fans are loving it. But here's where it gets really interesting. While we're all buzzing about Clark's potential future in broadcasting, there's an old clip making the rounds that shows just how long she's been turning heads. And I'm not talking about last year or the year before. We're going way back to when Clark was just a sophomore in college. You know who was already eyeing Clark back then? Ly Dunn, a big name in the WNBA. And what Dunn said about Clark, it's like she had a crystal ball or something. She straight up said, "I was watching her and thinking, I got to figure out how to get this player the next generational player." That's insane. Dunn saw Clark's potential way before most of us even knew her name. She recognized that Clark wasn't just another good player.
Turner, my bad. We're in the bottom of the fourth. We got a score of 1-0 to the Phillies. Runner on first, no outs. This brings someone to the plate.
But someone who could change the game. And boy, was she right. Now let's connect the dots here. Clark's been wowing people on the court for years, but this recent TikTok shows she's got skills beyond just playing. She's got that star quality that makes people want to watch her, whether she's sinking three-pointers or giving commentary. Think about it. Clark's ability to engage fans isn't just limited to her incredible plays. She's got this natural charisma that comes through even when she's talking about the game. That's a rare combo, folks. It's like she's got the whole package.
Swings a chopper right down the first baseline. Harper fields it, and that's an out. That's one out.
And
Runner. And a swing and a miss for the second strikeout of the inning. Nola gets out of it after the lead runner gets on. And that brings us to the top of the fifth, with the Phillies leading 1-0. We'll be back in a minute for 30 seconds.
Skills, smarts, and star power. So what does this mean for Clark's future? Well, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Sure, she's going to tear it up in the WNBA, that's a given. But after that, the sky's the limit. We could be looking at the next great sports broadcaster. Imagine Clark breaking down games with the same intensity and insight she brings to the court. She could be inspiring the next generation of players, not just through her play, but through her words too. That's the kind of impact that lasts long after the final buzzer. Just when you thought Clark's path to greatness was set in stone, a curveball comes out of nowhere. Remember Sheryl Swoops? Well, she's got some strong opinions about Clark and the state of women's basketball. And trust me, her words are causing quite a stir. You know how everyone's been talking about Caitlyn Clark's incredible skills on and off the court? Well, Sheryl Swoops just dropped a truth bomb that's got people buzzing. She's not here to sugarcoat things, folks. Swoops is tackling a tough topic head on: racism in sports. Here's the deal. Swoops straight up said, "It's very naive to think that racism does not exist. It was just proven a couple days ago." Whoa, right? She's not playing around. Swoops is calling out the elephant in the room, and she's using Clark's recent experience as an example. Remember when Clark liked that tweet? Yeah, that one. It sparked a whole lot of backlash from fans. Swoops is pointing to to that incident as proof that racism is alive and kicking in the sports world. She's saying we can't ignore it anymore, especially with the current political climate in our country. Now, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with Clark's skills on the court? Well, that's the thing. Swoops is saying we can't separate these issues. The way players are perceived and treated, it's all connected to race, whether we like it or not. But here's where it gets really interesting. Swoops isn't just talking about Clark. She's bringing Angel Reese into the conversation too. You know how everyone's been comparing these two players? Swoops is saying that's a big mistake. She's pointing out that Clark and Reese have totally different playing styles and bring different things to the game. Comparing them, it's like comparing apples and oranges. This isn't just Swoops talking either. Other WNBA legends are backing her up. They're all saying the same thing. We need to have some real, honest conversations about race in sports. It's not comfortable, but it's necessary. Think about it. How often do we see players treated differently based on their race? It's not always obvious, but it's there. And Swoops is saying it's time we face it head on. She's challenging us to look beyond the stats and the highlight reels and see the bigger picture. So what does this mean for Clark and other players like her? It's not about bringing them down. It's about lifting everyone up. Swoops is saying we need to appreciate each player for who they are and what they bring to the game without falling into the trap of racial stereotypes or unfair comparisons. This is bigger than just basketball. Swoops is talking about the kind of change that could impact sports as a whole. She's calling for more open discussions, more understanding, and more action to address these racial issues. And she's not alone. Other WNBA stars are joining the conversation, adding their voices to the call for change. Just when you thought everyone had their say, the OGs of women's basketball enter the chat. Tina Thompson and Cynthia Cooper are speaking up, and their take on Clark and Reese, it's not what you'd expect. Get ready for some real talk that's gonna change how you see this whole situation. You know how Sheryl Swoops dropped that truth bomb about racism in sports? Well, she's not the only legend with something to say. Tina Thompson and Cynthia Cooper are jumping into the conversation, and they're bringing some serious fire. Let's start with Tina Thompson. She's looking at the bigger picture here. Thompson's not just focusing on Clark or Reese individually. She's seeing how they're changing the game together. Check this out. Thompson said they have brought a following and a personality that hasn't been there for a very long time. That's huge, right? Think about it. Clark and Reese aren't just great players. They're bringing new energy to the WNBA. They're getting people excited about women's basketball in a way we haven't seen before. It's like they're breathing new life into the league. But here's where it gets really interesting. Cooper and Swoops are calling out something that's been bugging a lot of fans. They're saying it's not cool to compare Clark and Reese. Why? Because their playing styles are totally different. In their words, they're nowhere near similar. This is big, folks. These legends are telling us we need to stop pitting these players against each other. It's not about who's better. It's about appreciating what each of them brings to the game. But let's be real for a second. This conversation isn't just about basketball skills. It's about something much bigger. These WNBA icons are shining a light on the elephant in the room: racism in sports. Swoops isn't holding back. She's straight up disappointed in how the WNBA is handling these issues. And she's not alone. There's a growing chorus of voices saying we need to do better. Here's the thing. This isn't just about Clark and Reese. It's about every player in the league. It's about creating an environment where everyone can thrive, regardless of their race or background. Thompson's words hit hard. She's saying we need to recognize each player's unique contributions. It's not about comparing them. It's about celebrating what makes each of them special. But it goes deeper than that. These legends are calling for real change. They're saying we can't ignore the challenges of racism in the league anymore. It's time to face them head on. Think about it. How often do we see players treated differently because of their race? It might not always be obvious, but it's there. And these WNBA icons are saying enough is enough. So what does this mean for the future of women's basketball? It's not just about improving the game on the court. It's about creating a more inclusive environment off the court too. These legends are challenging us to think differently. They're saying we need to appreciate each player for who they are, not how they compare to someone else. It's about recognizing talent in all its forms without letting racial stereotypes cloud our judgment. Now let's switch gears to Caitlyn Clark. She's gone from college phenom to WNBA rookie in the blink of an eye. But hold up, is she at a crossroads already? The path ahead might be more complicated than you think. Clark's journey has been nothing short of spectacular. She dominated in college, lighting up scoreboards and breaking records left and right. Now she's in the WNBA and everyone's eyes are on her. But here's the thing, it's not just about her game anymore. Remember that viral TikTok we talked about? The one where Clark's showing off her baseball commentary skills? That's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. It's like Clark standing at this crazy intersection of sports, media, and social issues. And the choices she makes now, they could shape her entire career. Think about it. Clark's not just a basketball player anymore. She's a public figure, a role model. Every move she makes, every word she says, it's all under a microscope. That's a lot of pressure for anyone, let alone a rookie. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's got this amazing opportunity to use her platform for something bigger than basketball. She could be a voice for change. You know, especially with all this talk about racial equality in sports. Imagine Clark stepping up and speaking out about these issues. She could be the one to bridge gaps, to start conversations that need to happen. But it's not an easy road. One wrong move, one misinterpreted comment, and boom, controversy. Remember that tweet Clark liked? The one that got everyone talking? That's the kind of thing she's got to navigate now. It's not just about what she does on the court anymore. It's about what she says, what she supports, how she carries herself off the court. But here's the thing, Clark's got game on and off the court. She's smart, she's articulate, and she's got that star quality that makes people listen. If she plays her cards right, she could be more than just a basketball legend. She could be a voice for her generation. Think about the impact she could have. Clark could use her platform to address the tough issues in sports. She could be the one to call out inequality when she sees it. She could inspire young players to speak up and stand up for what's right. But it's not going to be easy. Clark's going to face challenges. She'll have to navigate the tricky waters of public opinion. She'll have to choose her words carefully, pick her battles wisely. It's a whole new ball game, and the stakes are higher than ever. So what's next for Caitlyn Clark? Is she going to stick to basketball and keep breaking records on the court, or is she going to step up and become a leader off the court too? The choice is hers, and we're all watching to see what she does next. One thing's for sure, Clark's got the potential to be more than just a sports star. She could be a game changer in ways we haven't even thought of yet. She could use her voice to push for real change in the WNBA and beyond. She could be the one to inspire a whole new generation of players to stand up and speak out. All right, let's wrap this up. Caitlyn Clark's journey isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about navigating the spotlight, dealing with controversies, and using her platform for good. But here's the thing, it's not just on Clark to make a change. We all have a part to play. As fans, we've got the power to support inclusive conversations and stand up against racism in sports. It's not always easy, but it's necessary. We need to call out unfair comparisons, appreciate each player for their unique skills, and push for real change in the WNBA and beyond. So, what's your game plan? Are you ready to be part of the change, both on and off the court? It's time to step up, speak out, and show that we're more than just spectators. We're the ones who can make a difference in the game we love.